From childhood, many boys are socialized into some rigid concepts of masculinity. Concepts that position men as dominant, emotionally restricted, and in control. These ideas, deeply rooted in some of our traditions, often promote behaviors that harm not only women and girls, but also harm the very men and boys themselves. They limit our emotional expression. I think the young man said it, Curious Mind said it. They discourage nourishing behavior and undermine the possibility of building healthy, respectful, and fulfilling relationships. Changing these norms is not simply desirable, it's necessary. UNFPA's mission is clear: a world where every pregnancy is wanted, where every childbirth is safe, and where every young person's potential is fulfilled. To achieve this, our research, our consultations, our community engagements have been consistently shown that we must work with everyone, men and boys, women and girls. That is why we have intentionally developed comprehensive male engagement strategies, including the Ghana-specific strategy that we are proudly supporting together with the Ministry of Gender to implement. We work in sensitive, life-changing areas, preventing maternal deaths, quite sensitive, it's life-changing. Eliminating gender-based violence, sensitive, life-changing. Ending harmful practices such as child marriage and female genital mutilation. So we cannot succeed in these efforts without the full support and participation of men and boys. Through our male engagement framework, we provide safe spaces for boys and young men to reflect on masculinity, relationships, responsibilities. These discussions help them challenge harmful attitudes, adopt healthier behaviors, and become champions for positive change. The evidence is clear. When men support women's access to reproductive health services, families become healthier and communities become more prosperous. When men stand against gender-based violence, societies become safer. When boys grow up understanding empathy, respect, and equality, the future becomes brighter for all of us. Across the world, men are stepping forward through movements such as He for She, often led by UN Women, my colleague from UN Women is here, and men engaged to champion gender equality. They are redefining leadership, advocating for inclusive spaces, and challenging systems that have historically marginalized women. But this work cannot stand alone. It must be carried out in close partnership with women's rights organizations, community leaders, policymakers, and development partners. True change happens only when we work together. As we reflect today, let us commit ourselves to a new vision of masculinity, one grounded in empathy, partnership, and respect. Let us encourage men and boys to abandon harmful stereotypes and embrace positive, healthy identities that uplift rather than oppress. Let us foster a society where every person, regardless of gender, can enjoy dignity, freedom, opportunity, and justice. Today, I call on all of us, the government, development partners, civil society, traditional religious leaders, and especially the young men and boys gathered here, to take bold steps. Let us champion responsible manhood in our homes, in schools, in workplaces, in the sports arena, and in communities. Let us work with men and boys as clients who need our services with information, counseling, even medical care and protection services. They also need proper raising. Let us work with men and boys as partners to support the women and girls, protect them, and support their access to services. Let us work with men and boys as change agents to look at the community norms that are holding back the development of the community and change them to ensure every woman, every girl, and everybody in that community can thrive. So therefore, men and boys can be clients, can be partners, and can be change agents in the whole discourse on positive masculinity. Together we can transform mindsets. Together we can end gender-based violence. And together we can build a future where equality is not the goal of a few, but the shared achievement of an entire nation. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much. When partners work together, we really succeed. And sometimes there is even no time to blame someone because everybody is actively working. Thank you. We really do appreciate it. This is for men. The men, let's see your hands once again. Very well represented. That's good. And you see, the she's for his are also here on this occasion, and we are happy about that. That is why we are calling someone from Parliament who is also a man supporting the process. Honorable Ohini Kwame Frimpong, MP for Asante Achem North, and he will chip in a statement for us so that when we are asking about it in Parliament, we know we have champions in there too. Honorable Kwame Frimpong.
Thank you very much. Akwesi is 10 years old. He falls down during a football match. His knee is bleeding. He winces. His eyes full of tears. Before he can get up, someone shouts from the sideline, "Hey, Bemensu." A man does not cry. In that small moment, before he even becomes a man, the world has already begun teaching him how to perform one. Mr. Chairman, the Australian High Commissioner, Her Excellency Bernice Owen Jones, the Honorable Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Honorable Dr. Agnes Momolate, the Chief Director of the Ministry, Dr. Afisa Zakaria, the leadership and staff of the Gender Ministry who are fully represented here, distinguished clergy, and the traditional leaders, honorable members of Parliament, our youth, our fathers, our brothers, and women who continue to hold our society together. Good morning to you all. I think of Akwesi often because every man in this room has been him. Each of us learn early that masculinity is performed through silence, hardness, and the refusal to show weakness. What we often call toxic masculinity is not manhood. It is the extreme version of outdated expectations like domination, emotional shutdown, aggression, misogyny, and a performance that harms everyone, including the men acting it out. As we grow, that performance becomes heavier. It influences how we love, lead, treat women, raise our children, and how we suffer. It is this weight that brings us together today. If tomorrow our sons cannot rest, if they struggle under the pressure to perform manhood instead of simply living it, it will be because we failed to make the right choices today. Choices about who we want to be and who and what we want to become, what we want them to become. Because right now, the winds shaping masculinity in Ghana are strong, and not all of them are good. Every day online, young men are receiving new definitions of what it means to be high value, alpha, and dominant. Red pill influencers and relationship commentators, many carrying their own pain, now teach boys that empathy is weakness, that women must be controlled, that vulnerability is shameful, and that respect must be demanded. Our sons are being disciplined by algorithm. This is where performative masculinity grows from the fear of not being enough. It is also where benevolent sexism hides in praises while limiting women's opportunities. In words that say, I will protect you, when what is being protected is male dominance dressed as care. Positive masculinity is not the absence of strength. It is the presence of integrity, the courage to be whole, and the courage to unlearn and rebuild. Growing up, I was blessed to be raised by a father who taught me tenderness and a mother who taught me responsibility. These values were complementary because I learned them early that strength and gentleness are not enemies. A man does not become less of a man by being kind. A man becomes more of a man by participating in care work, nurturing, telling the truth about his feelings, and showing tender care. If we use masculinity to measure our worth, we lose ourselves. If we use it to dominate others, we lose our humanity. But if we use it to serve, then masculinity becomes a national asset. This is why Parliament's work in strengthening human rights must include how we raise our boys and support our men. Masculinity is a human rights issue. When men are taught not to feel, not to ask for help, and not to be vulnerable, society produces hurt people who may lash out with violence against the vulnerable. But when we teach our boys that dignity is their birthright, that empathy is strength, and that equality is not an attack on them, but a foundation beneath them, we create men who can build and make our nation great and strong. May we raise and become men of emotional fortitude, mental discipline, physical determination, perseverance, integrity of will, and responsible stewardship. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. Mesdames et messieurs.
Thank you so much, Honorable. So many quotable quotes in there. I don't know whether you took note of one so that at a later time you can put it out to someone. We really appreciate you, Honorable. We'll continue to support the boys and the men as well. And also, what we do with the little ones, we let them know that you came together as those going to work in equal proportions for us to support our development. We are working towards Agenda 2030. But please, do not let us give up in spite of the challenges. We will make it. That's a good one. We are now going to the office of the Vice President. She's also showing concern, and somebody from that office is making a statement so that she will support what we are doing. Dr. Marian Idrisu is here with us. Doc? You see, when the men meet, the women come to support. So please, when the women are meeting the men, we should also invade the circles.
Thank you, and good morning to us all. Honorable Gender Minister, MPs present, leadership of the Gender Ministry, country rep of UNFPA and other country reps present, Her Excellency, the Australian High Commissioner, distinguished traditional leaders present, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols duly observed. I bring you warm greetings from Her Excellency, the very first female Vice President, who is presently acting in her capacity as the President of our country, so she's quite busy. I wish on behalf of Her Excellency to thank Honorable Gender Minister and other key stakeholders who have put our conversation behind the scenes into reality, and the Maiden Men's Conference on Positive Masculinity. I think she deserves an applause. Great conference, great platform for male engagement. However, true and lasting change begins when all of us, men, women, every single individual decides to speak out, challenge our harmful norms, and support efforts towards a lasting solution. And I would like to borrow Her Excellency, the High Commissioner of Australia, who said that men are not the problem. The holdback is the culture. Today is a historic moment for us all, and on this maiden conversation on male conference, on behalf of Her Excellency, I congratulate us all and let our voices count, and let us break the silence. Together, we can build a Ghana where everyone is safe, both men, women, children, persons with disability are safe. Thank you, and may God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Madam. We know when you go, you give the message to our Vice President that the men are on board, and we know she's also coming to support that same process. Good. And our women in Parliament, the gender concourse is led by a very strong woman. And you can see she's so busy, she would love to be here. But other things like this one is still occupying her. But she won't just leave it like that. We have another strong woman from the caucus who has joined us. Honorable Rachel Amawusua is the MP for Doma East. And she is representing our chair of the Gender Committee. Honorable.
Thank you. I'm Honorable Rachel Amawusua. I'm a midwife by profession and now representing the good people of Doma East. I'm here on behalf of the chairperson for the Gender and Social Welfare Committee, as she is now bereaved. Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, development partners, civil society organizations, traditional and religious leaders, men and boys present, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for the Committee on Gender, Children and Social Welfare to join you today for this important national conversation on positive masculinity organized as part of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. As a chairperson of the Gender, Children and Social Welfare Committee of Parliament, I recognize that promoting gender equality is not solely the responsibility of women and girls. It requires the commitment, leadership, and partnership of men and boys who play a critical role in shaping norms, attitudes, and behaviors within our homes, communities, and institutions. This year's theme, Promoting Positive Masculinity and Gender Equality, Peace and Social Justice, invites us to rethink traditional expectations of manhood, expectations that sometimes fuel harmful practices, normalize dominance, and silence men who wish to express empathy, care, and emotional balance. Positive masculinity is not about weakening men. It is about strengthening society. It is about nurturing men who respect women, value equity, reject violence, and serve as alliance in advancing peace and justice. It calls on men to be protectors, not through force, but through fairness, responsibility, and partnership. As a committee in Parliament, we continue to support legislative policy and budgetary interventions that protect victims and survivors of abuse, empower families, promote child welfare, and challenge harmful norms that perpetuate violence. However, laws and politics alone cannot transform society. We need mindset change, community engagement, and male champions who will model positive behavior in every sphere of life. I commend the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection for organizing such program and for internationally engaging men and boys in the national dialogue. This is how we build a future where equality is natural and violence is unacceptable. Let us all live here today with a renewed commitment to nurturing positive role models, fathers, brothers, uncles, teachers, chiefs, religious leaders, and young boys who choose respect over fear, dialogue over dominance, and compassion over violence. Thank you. We look forward to our discussions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Rachel Lama Wusia, for representing the Gender Committee. We know Honorable Elena Adwantoso also get to know that she was not here, but she was still part of the process. We have a number of groups here, and I think it will be good because you can't mention everyone. But please, when we mention your group and you are here, let's see by hands and some acclaim. So we have members of Parliament, at least you've seen 2 already here. Please, let's see you by hands. Let's applaud them. Thank you so much for coming. Our development partners are here. You've heard one speak. Thank you so much, madam. Can we see by hand other development partners? Thank you. Amaga's hand over there, I saw it. Thank you, Dr. Doris Aglobici. The Ministerial Advisory Board is also here with us. Can we see by hand? Bia. Thank you. Thank you, Doc. Straight from the newsroom to a lot of active campaigning. Thank you. And then we have staff of the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection. You see how I took my time so that I'll represent everybody in it. Otherwise, you leave one, you leave so many people. And then we have the MMDAs also represented. I know that is a sprinkle across some of the groups I've already mentioned. Thank you. The security agencies have seen a good representation here too. Let's see by hands. Then the Nime and Name are also here. If you get to Adabraka, you can ask of Nakoko Ajui. She's also here with them and all of them. Please let's clap for them because at the root level, they are trying to help change those norms we always say are the problems for us. We have also CSOs and NGOs who are represented. Yeah, when we mention them, you always hear the whoo. Thank you. And then we have academia, and then the teachers also here with us. I've already mentioned Adolf, and he is also coming with a battalion of them. Please let's clap for them. They get the issues well represented where it matters most. And also, we have religious institutions also gathered here with us. Thank you so much. And the students, where are you? Let me see your hands. Good. Sometimes ago, we were saying we are changing the world with children. We'll still continue to change because we've seen some change looking at where we started from. So you being here is also very important. We'll be mentioning other groups not yet mentioned here as we go on. It's now time to reduce what we are doing into a literary performance. Angel Kujo is here with us. Angel Kujo is with Curious Minds. And we are talking about men on board. Some of the things we do that we say, ow. And sometimes the praises they never get. Angel Kujo.
Ago. Oh, Ago. Ejanume. Yeah, Fremo. Yes, here we are. Your own people. We are calling you. Oh, Atakpapo. Dodo, where are you? Do you hear the call? The drums of Radio Ghana have called you from far and near. And we've heard the Etumpan and the Fonton from all someone new. We've also heard the Totonsa declare that it's your time. Oh yes, it is your time. It is your time to be heard. It is your time of impact. It is your time to really be heard. It is your time to respond to Memambro. For without you, the equation cannot balance. But we read the papers. We heard the news. We folded our arms and tears just began to fall from where they were hidden. We saw the violence. We saw the abuse. And you know, the addresses seem to be pointing to you. In the corner over there, there's a parrot just whispering. And so people look at you, and with all the doom and gloom, they just pick up their register and their red pens and start marking. Oh, care and protection, absent. School fees, and also absent. Housekeeping, bobo, absent. But violence, you see, present, sir. This is not okay. Then there's the register that some people don't also look at. As the legend sang, say toi, mabu. And so, as they braved through the storm and faced countless challenges headlong and silently, and in critical moments, they are told, hey, bra, bemen soon. And so what do? You swallow the tears, and you keep saying, Dio, because that is all you can say, as you keep providing with a little acknowledgement. And all the glory days are now reserved only for Mother's Day. Sweet mother, I'm not gonna forget you. Where are the sweet fathers? There's no sweet father song. We have to make one for them. Gender, we thought, was for women, but the men matter so much more. Oh, how true it is. How true it is that for the proliferation of Batakari, we couldn't see through Krama. Yes, Batakari does one my yentumi Krama papa. Ba. Ejanu mo, ejanu mo. Ejanu mo, ejanu mo. And so there was a horde of men, a horde of our fathers, They're true men of valor who decided to make a positive change. And so in their own corner, they let their light shine as they push forward progress. And they build empires, but they do that silently with no ceremony. And so let us all come and sing and praise these ones. Ejanume ya mama kwabo, nyame mabe na mayeno. Ejanumo mo, ejanumo. Let us praise these ones, because look, you matter to us. You are dear to us. In fact, you are a worthy piece in the development puzzle. Oh yes, here we are to tie the knot. We are tying the knot with you, for you are a worthy thumb. We cannot go past you. And together with all the worthy ladies, let me see your hands, the worthy ladies over here. Yes, we are also lifting the load and pushing progress. And so, let us gather all the men again and tell them that we love you, our dear men, our dear brothers and fathers, for all the good you have to give, and for joining us in the fight to put violence down and to bring a smile to all. And so we'll keep singing, and we will keep hailing your worth. We children, we girls, we women, we society. And we will continue with the chorus. Ejano mo, ejano mo. Ah, ejano mo, ejano mo. Madame Wase.
Thank you so much, Angel. Somebody said the man should reserve the money and call them, and then this is yours. But when it's given to the woman, oh, you see your father. Those other words that come, we'll reserve it for the other side. But they said, when you want to know how the woman feels, let the child do something wrong in the house. And the father who has contributed will get. You know, during those days, it wasn't email or WhatsApp. We call something Telegram. Not the Telegram that the Gen Zs know. Please read a little bit of history. We want to acknowledge somebody who joined us in the course of it. I remember when he was then campaigning for SRC president over there. Honorable Elvis Efri Yankra, please, let's see if you are here. Thank you very much. He will later be part of the program. But as of now, we are moving on, and the person we have to deliver a statement is Honorable Dr. Agnes Namumu Lati, Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. If we have to say a lot about her, I think we won't finish. But she's well engaged and experienced in community development, women and children's rights, and also the governance issues. She's already said thank you, you know, after just 2 lines. Honorable, when you finish, I'll come and conclude the rest of it, but that's honorable for us.
All right. Thank you. Please resume your seats. Thank you very much. Representative of the Honorable Chief of Staff, Rep from the Office of the Vice President, members of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Gender, Chief Directors, my Chief Director, the Australian High Commissioner, directors and heads of ministries, departments and agencies, representatives of the UN system, our development partners, civil society organizations, distinguished traditional and faith-based leaders, leadership of transport unions, academia, friends of the media, distinguished guests, and our gallant men and the students gathered here, good morning. Good morning. It is not just a good morning, it's a beautiful and a memorable one. So, good morning. It is a great honor to join you for this maiden national conference on positive masculinity, an important platform that's dedicated to rethinking the role of men and boys in promoting gender equality, peace, and social justice in Ghana. Your presence here affirms one truth. Men are not only part of the conversation, they are essential to the solution. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, is the AU gender champion, and in him you find a role model. JSA, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is a worthy role model. Distinguished guests, today's gathering sets the stage for a national discourse on engaging men and boys meaningfully. To eliminate sexual and gender-based violence, we must understand the unique pressures, expectations, and vulnerabilities faced by men and boys, while strengthening their roles as allies in achieving gender equality. This is the path we begin to chart today. I remember when JSA walked in to my office, when I was trying to settle in as the minister. I had so many meetings, and then I saw a letter from them trying to pay a courtesy call. It was so intriguing. So I said to my chief director, we have to meet them. I need to make space. And we had such an inspiring conversation. The summary of it is asking me to see the boys, hear the boys, and feel their pain. And I said, yes, I see you. The ministry sees you. We feel your pain. We know what you are going through, and we are there for you. And I think I mentioned to them that we'll be having this positive masculinity meeting. It's a conversation that is long overdue, but I promised them that we were going to have this conversation. And it was not as if the ministry was not seeing them, but it's because most of the work we do is data-driven. And you can understand and appreciate the fact that when it comes to violence and abuse and vulnerability, the data tend to look more at women and girls. So the support base for you not to be vulnerable is there. We'll protect what we have and then try to rescue what we don't have. And that is the mission we have. As a ministry mandated to promote gender equality and protect vulnerable populations, we are committed to ensuring that our interventions benefit all, not only women and girls, but men and boys who equally need safe spaces, empowerment, and emotional support. Issues of harmful gender stereotypes, mental health, substance abuse, societal pressure, unemployment, and silence around male emotional struggles have become urgent areas requiring national attention. The conversation has begun. Positive masculinity is not about diminishing men. It is about creating an environment where men are free to express themselves, seek help when needed, and lead with empathy, responsibility, and respect. As we commemorate this first national conference, we call for mentorship programs for boys, which the ministry will be leading, community campaigns that promote healthy masculinity, greater investment in the emotional and psychological well-being of men and boys. Every man and boy deserves to be valued, supported, and given the opportunity to thrive. By nurturing them, we shape future leaders, responsible fathers, and peaceful communities. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana has taken significant steps to advance gender equality. The Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act, the Social Protection Act, and the revised National Gender Policy reflect our commitment to inclusive leadership and protection from violence for all. Our efforts align with the Kinshasa Declaration and Call to Action on Positive Masculinity, adopted by the African Heads of States in 2021. In 2021, reaffirmed in Dakar and Addis Ababa. These commitments remind us that positive masculinity strengthens, not weakens, the leadership of men. So positive masculinity strengthens, not weakens, the leadership of men. The ministry has also implemented several interventions, annual mentorship programs for boys and girls, men and boys clubs across the regions, a national framework and toolkit for engaging men and boys, the Orange Support Center and Buami mobile app for swift response to gender-based violence, domestic violence response centers and markets, and trained paralegals to support survivors. However, we must acknowledge an emerging reality. Violence is not one-sided. Increasingly, men and boys also experience abuse at the hands of women and girls. JSA made that clear in our conversation earlier this year. Our advocacy must therefore protect every individual from all forms of violence, regardless of gender. Distinguished guests, this is an opportune moment. Let us encourage men to be role models, and I have said, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, is a worthy role model. We need champions of equity and the commitment and non-violence. Harmful norms must be confronted. Silence must be broken. And all communities must stand united against all forms of gender-based violence. Laws alone cannot change society. Mindsets must change. As I conclude, I call on all stakeholders to work hand in hand with the ministry to build a Ghana where women, boys, girls, and men, and persons with disability can live in dignity, safety, and equality. Let us redefine masculinity, not as dominance, but as partnership rooted in respect. I extend heartfelt appreciation to UNFPA, the UN Women, Owling Ghana, and all partners for their financial and technical support in organizing this conference. UN Women, Owling Ghana, I see you. I know where this conversation started from, and I acknowledge that publicly today. We look forward to deeper collaboration as we work toward a society free from gender-based violence. In your presence, all the women here, men, you find support to support women and gender-based violence. Thank you for your presence, your partnership, and commitment. To our gallant men, we salute you and wish us all the best and fruitful, inspiring conference. Thank you.
Yeah. We are doing it better. Thank you very much. Thank you. They say when we started talking about women's development, it was a radical approach, and the men said, okay, let's fight then. But you see, as we evolved, we realized, no, it is not about that. And that's exactly what our Honorable Minister just stressed on. Thank you so much. I remember a conversation around 2007. Dr. Efwansre is here, and they've been mentioned. At that time, they were uniform, and those issues were coming up strongly. We've made giant strides, but we believe we can do more, even with this conference pushing further. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for this one. It's time for us to relax a little. The cultural troupe, I know they are around here. They will be helping us to do it. But as they prepare to come, at a point in time in acknowledging men, the discussions had gone on. The men are absent in the home. They are not doing anything much. They should be bonding with their children and showing love. And then in the discussion, one young girl of about 7 years, she accompanied the mother to come to the program. And so everybody was calling the mother and asking the question, Madam, Madam, and then she also came in, Madam, how do you expect the men to show love and also be able to provide for their home? You expect them to be around, and yet they must also be at work. That question was never well answered by the mother. So it shows the worth of men, even though sometimes they may not be around, but we should show our presence. It's time for the cultural troupe.
Babu Bentorani. Babu Bentorani. Babu Bentorani. Babu Bentorani. Beku Dentorani. Baba Beku Dentorani. Babu Bentorani. Baba Beku Dentorani. Tando Baba Beku Dentorani. Tande Baba Beku Dentorani. No Baba Beku Dentorani.
Aye,
Let's hear the applause louder and louder. This is one of our export commodities. How are we working on it? You see how the men were combining so well with the women? That's exactly how we want to function in the society. Good. Let's applaud them once again. They said they are called a Tea Party organization, meaning our heritage. We thank them so much for that fine performance. You know, when we are somewhere, we mention the traditional authorities, sometimes they also want to be heard. Yeah, it's fine. Maybe at a point in time, we'll give that opportunity. But in the interim, we still want to acknowledge their presence because they take the message down to the people in the indigenous language that the people should listen to so that they also jump to it and support the endeavor. Who is the Kaneshie Manche? We really acknowledge your presence. We thank you so much for coming. I did so for the traditional group earlier, but I just want to mention you all so that people know you are around. They can still liaise with you for us to make progress. And then we have the high priest of the Gan State, Numo Ayite Koblan III. Thank you very much, Numo Ayite Koblan. I mentioned you earlier. She's been part of the process for a long time. We still appreciate you. And then Namo Koskafutro the first. Thank you very much. Yeah. She's the Amachewe Manye. We thank you all for coming, and we know you continue to support what we are doing. It is time for us to go to the big house. And when we say the big house, you know the big house we are talking about. We have representing Honorable Julius Deborah, who is the Chief of Staff, Honorable Elvis Efriyankra, Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Ecumenical Bodies. He is now giving us a statement.
Thank you very much. And when the group was performing, usually when we go for campaigns and rallies, there's a performance before the introduction of the candidate or president. And usually I've had the privilege of going to do that. And you get a kind of energy from those performances and you are charged. You know, so I was trying not to be charged. Because if I get charged, when I come and stand here, all I'll say is Choboy. But today is not a day for Choboys. So let me focus and read my speech book and go back. Petrol will be and I think I can call her my dear sister, the Honorable Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. I'm so proud of you. No, she's right from local government, and you know, she's come a long way, and her progress has been steady. Let's give her another round of applause. Our representative from the Office of the Vice President, Doctor, members of Parliament, another sister, and all the others. Her Excellency, the Australian High Commissioner, Chief Director of the Ministry, and all the leadership of the ministry, resident representative of the UNFPA, traditional authorities that I work closely with. You know, my position, people get confused. Ecumenical. If you want to break it down to the lowest level, I deal with pastors, imams, traditional leaders, so all the pastors, all the churches, all the imams, malams, you know. of the security services, CSOs, the media, good morning. And in the spirit of interfaith collaboration, today is Friday, so assalamu alaikum. I bring you warm greetings from the office of the President, and I stand here today on behalf of the Chief of Staff, Honorable Julius Deborah, with deep honor, because this gathering is more than a conference. It is a national mirror before us to re-examine who we are, who we have become, and who we must aspire to be. Honorable Minister, permit me to begin with a simple story. A father once handed his young son a seed. Plant this, he said, and watch it grow every day. The boy planted the seed, watered it, and observed it faithfully. But weeks after, he came complaining that the seed was dead. The father said, just wait and go back. The boy became restless. But after a while, the seed started budding. And the father told the son, you were not only planting a seed, you were planting patience, responsibility, and respect for process. What grows in the ground matters less than what grows in you. This morning, we have gathered because Ghana is planting a different kind of seed, a seed of positive masculinity, a seed that must grow into the hearts and minds of our men and boys, not only to prevent violence against women and girls, but to redefine what it truly means to be a man in a just, peaceful, and equal society. This conference is part of the Global 16 Days of Activism campaign, but beyond the symbolism, the reality is this. Every act of gender-based violence weakens the soul of our nation. Every girl silenced by fear reduces our collective potential. Every woman whose dignity is diminished diminishes all of us. Ghana cannot claim progress, whether social, economic, or democratic, if our women and girls remain unsafe, unheard, or unprotected. And so today, we boldly confront the truth we have too often tiptoed around. Many of the systems, jokes, expectations, and our unspoken rules that shape our concept of masculinity have caused harm. And just as the Honorable Member of Parliament was saying, yes, Bema insu, Bema oyobo. So we live in pretense. But equally true is this: men can also be an incredible force for healing, justice, and protection. Remember how back in the day, one could brag about a big brother at home who is so protective. And we all know those days when you are going to a house, you want to check if either the father is wild, he has a gun, or there's a big brother who is very wild. and you take note of that before you make any attempts. The purpose of this conference is not to accuse men, but to awaken them. Men must not only be seen as potential perpetrators, but as partners, protectors, peacemakers, and positive examples. When men speak up, cultures shift. When men challenge harmful norms, boys listen. When men choose respect, households transform. When men model empathy, communities heal. A young boy is always watching the men around him. He's learning from every word spoken, from every silence, and from every choice made. When men demonstrate honor and care, boys learn that strength is not brutality, but strength is responsibility. So we need to redefine masculinity. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, what does positive masculinity look like? It is the man who uses his physical strength not to intimidate, but to protect. It is the father who teaches his sons that washing dishes or holding a baby does not reduce their manhood. It is the husband who sees the wife as an equal partner in destiny. It is the male leader who creates space for women's voices at the table, not as a token gesture, but as a governance principle. It is a young man who rejects peer pressure to dominate and instead chooses to respect, listen, and uplift. Positive masculinity is not about weakening men. It's about freeing them from the narrow expectations that turn insecurity into aggression and silence into emotional imprisonment. A man who cannot express disappointment without anger is not strong. He's trapped. A man who must use fear to command respect is not powerful. He is wounded. This conference is an invitation for men to become whole, and in becoming whole, to begin to help our nation heal. As somebody who deals with various faiths, I am deeply aware that faith communities carry enormous influence in shaping mindsets and behaviors. Our mosques, churches, traditional councils, and family clans must therefore become active platforms for positive masculinity. We have the moral authority, the social trust, and the spiritual responsibility to challenge harmful cultural practices, condemn abuse from pulpits and prayer camps, affirm the dignity of every woman and girl, and mentor boys into compassionate, just, and confident men. Positive masculinity is deeply rooted in our cultural values and our spiritual teachings. Every major faith tradition upholds respect for women, justice for the vulnerable, and peace in the home. Our task is to bring moral clarity back into the daily lives of our communities. A call to national action. On behalf of the Chief of Staff, I want to commend the Minister of Gender, Children, and Social Protection in this timely initiative. I salute the UNFPA and all partners for their enduring commitment. But the work does not end here. We must leave this conference with one, practical commitments, not only ideas, male champions and role models at every level of society, clear pathways for schools, churches, mosques, media, and families to join this movement, safe spaces where men, boys, women, and girls can speak honestly, learn, and transform together. For Ghana to become a nation of peace and justice, we must re-engineer the cultural blueprint of manhood. Let me end with another image. Some years ago, a teacher recounted how a boy in a class would become violent and aggressive whenever a girl outperformed him academically. We've all been there before. When she eventually sat with him, the young boy said, "At home, they say a man must always be on top." That imagery is unreal. But we've all learned that that is not true. You can coexist side by side, and sometimes they beat us. And thanks to Nakonedu and all the people, now the women are doing better than us. True of us. Clap for yourselves, the women. This conference exists to rewrite that script. Imagine a Ghana where a boy grows up believing that real men uplift women, real men apologize. Real men apologize. Real men apologize. I am sorry, it won't kill you. It will give you more meat in the soup and other things that will follow. Real men listen. Real men protect. Real men use their influence for justice. When we raise such boys, we raise a nation that cannot be broken by violence. And when the minister was speaking, she said rightly that our president is a real role model. And it's not just political talk, but I have never seen President Mahama lose control. Never. I've dealt with him privately, personally. I mean, he will, if no matter how the situation is, patient, calm, even if he's going to rebuke, if he's going to sack you, to be done nicely. And he's supported by a strong woman. But he allows her space to flourish and function. One, we always talk about the life of J.J. Rollins, but there's a dimension we all fail to talk about. Nana Konedu the last time and all the things she did. Very strong woman. J.J. Rollins was also a very strong, powerful man. So why did J.J. not intimidate her? J.J. allowed her to flourish. So if you allow your partner to flourish and reach her full potential, the two of you will reach heights that are unimaginable. Not to put myself in that category, but in my own small little way. My wife has 2 master's degrees, paid for by me. She's going to do a PhD, paid for by me. It doesn't take anything away from me. The degree will come to the house. When we enter the bedroom, we say, Opa. In conclusion, on behalf of the Chief of Staff, I want to assure you that the Office of the President supports your every effort to promote positive masculinity, protect our women and girls, and build a more just and peaceful Ghana. Let us go from here committed, not only to speak, but to act. Not only to teach, but to model. Not only to hope, but to transform. May we plant the seed of positive masculinity today, and may future generations harvest a Ghana defined by respect, equality, peace, and social justice. Thank you, and God bless our homeland Ghana.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mr. Free Yankra. So we are talking about real men. If you are not engaged in what was described, it means your description as a man, there is something, yes, I heard it. There is a question about it. Thank you very much for supplying that word. We really appreciate it. But you didn't tell the younger ones that at that time, there was no WhatsApp, and people were whistling and throwing stones at windows. Those were the beginning of some real men. Good. We are moving on, and this time around, we are looking at a presentation, Positive Masculinity. Are we just talking, or can it be a reality? Rhetoric or reality? And Mr. Frank Boja is Deputy Director, Conflict Management and Resolution, National Peace Council, also actively engaged in issues of gender. He is doing the presentation for us.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I stand on all existing protocols. Recently, I was watching one of the social media videos, and this man and woman have married for 40 years. So there was this gentleman who was asking the woman, so all the 40 years, have you passed the back of the man? Emphatic, no, I can't do that. Then it came to the man. Have you passed the back of the woman? Medium yobimba. So we always have this issue about medium yobimba. And you are a man, you must be a man. Okay, so in our life, there is this question that they always put to us: are you not a man? Or you are a man? Be a man. And when such phrases come to the man, you see something arousing them. And it turns out that sometimes in certain circumstances, the man is going to behave in a manner that is stronger than weapons of mass destruction. And we use it very often, very, very often. And so in this discussion, we are going to look at some of these issues. So such a statement will make the man behave like a man. And it could also change the most gentleman to act in a way negatively impact on the target. For those of you who are studying security small, when we say target, that is the person to whom the action is directed to. And they turn the slimmest man into the most macho man. And the mindset that the opposite sex must be hot, crushed in certain circumstances. They are phrases that actually arouse the masculine, egoistic nature of man. And it is often used in our homes, in our communities, in our interactions with each other. But statistics have shown that there had been a lot of intimidation, violence against women, and most often perpetrated by men. It isn't that the men are not abused. In these days, I can tell you that we suffer a lot. But when you take the statistics globally, you find out that about 1 in 3, so those of us in even this room, if you take 3 women, 1 of them had been abused in recent time. In the same way, if you measure it against the larger population, in the last 12 months, just 1 year, so let's assume that after the election, about 316 million women have been abused by intimate partners, either husbands, friends who are close to them, boyfriend, girlfriends, or their close relatives. And this forms about 11% of women who have reached that age of 15 and above. And this is a recent report put out by the World Health Organization, 19th November, just 19th November that this report was put out. But we have also seen that, can we have the lights off a bit? When we spread it across the regions, in fact, I'll escape the rest and come to Africa. Sub-Saharan Africa, about 70% of women have been abused in recent time. And, in Europe, it's about 5%. In Southern Asia, 19%. And the least developed countries, 18%. And we fall within also the least developed countries. The small islands and the rest. East and Southeastern Asia, 8%. So we don't know what had happened, that here is low, but the less developed countries, the violence is more. In Ghana, as recent as 2022, the Ghana Statistical Service has did a research, and this is the data that they are talking about, 24.4%. This is a huge number. And if you take our population of 15 to 49 years, 24.4% of that population has faced some kind of intimate partner, physical and or sexual violence at least once in their lifetime. This is a huge number, and we must be worried about it. Now let's come home to the issue that we are here. Masculinity, what is it about? It is a complex, socially constructed set of traits, behaviors, and rules culturally associated to men, varying across time and places, and depending on the time and depending on where you come from, often emphasizing strength